Jey Uso spotted dancing with Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa after quitting WWE. WWE to bring back Sasha Banks. Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus harshly bashed. Rhea Ripley breaks character mid-match. Backstage update on how real Seth Rollins back injury. Current champion to dethrone Dominik Mysterio and become a double champion. Top WWE superstar going after Roman Reigns, the solution to major problem on Raw. Solo Sikoa in a major feud against former WWE champion. Let's jump right into our first story. WWE to bring back Sasha Banks. WWE has had a chaotic year and a half or so. Vince McMahon retired after numerous allegations were sent his way. This led to Triple H taking over the creative direction of the company. Vince returned in January, although how hands-on he is with the product is often debated. Prior to his temporary retirement, there was a lot of unrest and frustration among talent and fans. Many wrestlers were being released on a constant basis, allegedly due to budget cuts, and many felt the product was at one of the lowest points ever. Part of the unrest came when Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out of the company last May. Once their contracts expired, Naomi moved to Impact Wrestling while Banks went on to compete in both Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Fans are always speculating about a potential return for Mercedes Moné, famously known as Sasha Banks. With Kairi Sane allegedly on her way back, could another Stardom star return to the Juggernaut promotion? If so, what would she do upon making her potential return? This piece will look at a few directions her career could take if she made a comeback. Here are 4 ways WWE can bring Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné, back into the mix. Number 4. She could have a first time ever singles match with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is on top of the world in WWE. She is one of the most talented superstars in the company's history and is the reigning women's world champion. She's held the title since WrestleMania 39. Beyond that, she constantly appears on both Monday Night Raw and NXT each week. She and the rest of the Judgment Day are one of the most featured acts in the entire WWE. While Rhea and Sasha did cross paths on the main roster, the two never had a one-on-one match. Instead, they only clashed briefly in multi-person bouts. For many fans, the Eradicator versus the Boss could be a dream match. If Banks returns, that bout has to take place. Number 3. Sasha Banks could reunite with Bayley and join Damage Control. Sasha Banks had a lot of success during her time in WWE. She headlined big events and won numerous titles. Still, she's likely forever to be linked with another top star. Sasha and Bayley will always be associated with each other. Thanks to their real-life friendship, Sasha and Bayley began teaming up together on-screen. As the Golden Role Models and the Boss and Hug Connection, the pair won the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on multiple occasions. Bayley has moved on in Sasha's absence. She's now the leader of Damage Control alongside Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Still, if the Boss were to return, the role model would likely have no problem finding room for her in the stable. If Sasha, Dakota, Bayley, and Io were all united, the SmackDown roster could be doomed. Number 2. She can return to the WWE Women's Tag Team title scene. As noted, Naomi and Sasha Banks walked out of WWE last May. Fans were shocked at what happened, but it wasn't just devastating to the company because they're two excellent talents. It was also difficult because they were both champions. Sasha and Naomi were the reigning WWE Women's Tag Team champions upon their exit. When they left, the division fell apart, and it took until Triple H took over creative for it to stabilize. Injuries, contract issues, and other various struggles have affected the division. If the Blueprint were to return to the company, she could do so by targeting the women's tag team titles. She could team back up with Bayley or even unite with the returning Kairi. Depending on her contractual status, Naomi could also return alongside the Boss. Number 1. The Boss could feud with Damage Control. While Sasha Banks and Bayley are well known for their friendship and history as a tag team, it could be argued that they're even better remembered for their various rivalries. The two stars have had classic feuds on NXT and WWE's main roster. Their last time on screen together saw the two feuding. Due to an injury Bayley suffered that plagued her until after the Boss left WWE, the two were never able to make up on television. As a result, in kayfabe, at least, the two still could be fierce rivals. Instead of Banks returning to unite with Bayley, she could continue her feud. With her time spent in Stardom, perhaps Sasha Banks could unite with Kairi Sane to feud with Damage Control. This could be a fun way to mix various degrees of history among the 4 women into a brand new and exciting storyline. Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus harshly bashed. If reactions to a recent tweet are anything to go by, fans are eagerly waiting to see Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus move on from their months-long WWE rivalry. Since the April 10th episode of Raw, where Stratus betrayed Lynch and showed her true colors, the two performers have been on a collision course. The feud seemed promising in the first few weeks as the WWE Hall of Famer got to showcase new facets of her character. However, it couldn't sustain the momentum as Lynch and Stratus struggled to elevate the material into something compelling. The duo went to war at Night of Champions 2023, where Trish Stratus emerged victorious after Zoe Stark interfered. While it was expected their feud would culminate at SummerSlam 2023, the match couldn't make it to the show's card. After a couple of more matches on Raw that didn't see any concrete winner emerging, Lynch and Stratus are now set to clash in a steel cage match at Payback 2023. The bout is widely expected to mark the feud's ending, allowing both the talented performers to move on to bigger and better things. A Twitter post recently quizzed fans if they are excited to watch the upcoming steel cage match. The The vast majority of users commented that they were rooting for the feud to finally reach the finishing point. On the latest episode of Sportskeeda's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo didn't mince any words before his honest thoughts about Lynch and Stratus' feud. The former WWE personality mentioned that the promotion had already given the match between the performers before and was now just needlessly extending the feud. What were they chanting that sounded like Pocahontas? What the heck? I don't even know what they are saying. Bro, we've seen this Becky Trish promo 18 freaking times already, bro. Come on. Oh my gosh. Talk about beating a dead horse, man, said Vince Russo. Regardless of who emerges victorious at Payback 2023, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus would surely hope to end their rivalry on a high by delivering a steel cage match to remember. Do you think the man would have it easy against the WWE Hall of Famer at Payback next month? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Rhea Ripley breaks character mid-match. Rhea Ripley broke character and could be heard telling her opponent to headbutt her during a match on NXT Heatwave. The Nightmare currently appears on both Raw and NXT on a regular basis. She recently competed in a mixed tag team match on NXT. Rhea Ripley teamed up with Dominik Mysterio, and the duo took on Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria on the latest edition of NXT. At one point during the bout, Ripley caught hold of Valkyria and could be heard telling her to hit her with a headbutt. Immediately after, Valkyria headbutted Ripley. During the final moments of the match, when it seemed Ripley and Dominik had the upper hand, Raquel Rodriguez came out suddenly and launched an attack on Ripley. The duo brawled all the way to the back, leaving Dominik to fend for himself in the ring. Moments later, Dragon Lee pinned Dominik after a tilt-a-whirl reverse DDT to pick up a huge win for his team. Rhea Ripley has been one of the most dominant stars on the WWE roster since early 2023. She certainly won't be happy with Raquel costing her the mixed tag team match on NXT. The two female stars are set to collide at WWE Payback 2023, with Ripley's Women's World Championship on the line. For those unaware, this was Ripley's first loss in 3 months. On the May 5, 2023 episode of WWE SmackDown, Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega defeated Ripley and Dominik Mysterio in a mixed tag team match. Following the loss, Ripley won 22 straight singles matches. When it comes to singles competition, Ripley has been undefeated for more than a year at this point. The last time she lost a singles match on WWE TV was way back in June 2022, when she lost to Liv Morgan. Drop your reactions in the comments section below to Ripley breaking character and telling Lyra Valkyria to headbutt her. Backstage update on how real Seth Rollins' back injury. It was revealed on Raw this past Monday that Seth Rollins is dealing with a back injury, and it was what Shinsuke Nakamura whispered to him last week. How true is Rollins' back injury? Nakamura had an intense segment with Rollins last week on Raw, with the Japanese superstar getting the upper hand. He caught the World Heavyweight Champion off guard after he whispered something to him before hitting the Kinshasa. On this week's Raw, Nakamura explained that he knows about Rollins' back injury and went on to have one of his best promos in WWE. The Visionary later acknowledged the injury in an interview, revealing that he has been dealing with it for 4 years. According to Steve Carrier of Ringside News, Rollins' back injury is semi-real, and his back is banged up. However, it's not as bad as it was being portrayed on television, and it's not anything serious. Seth Rollins is set to defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura at Payback. Rollins and Nakamura will also go face-to-face next week on Raw in Memphis. Seth Rollins has been WWE's workhorse over the past 2 years. He's been durable for most of his career, with the exception of a knee injury that required surgery when he was the WWE Champion in 2015. In a backstage interview on Raw, Rollins opened up about his back injury and how it affects his career. "I do have 2 fractures in my lumbar spine," Rollins said. "I have been living with that injury for over 4 years, and it does not get better by itself. As a matter of fact, it gets worse. The truth is, I don't know what the end game is. I don't know how much longer I am going to be able to do this at the level I'm currently running at." Seth Rollins has been the World Heavyweight Champion since May 27, when he defeated Finn Balor at Night of Champions. On the other hand, Shinsuke Nakamura is still looking for his first world title since joining WWE in 2016. Who do you think will be the World Heavyweight Champion after Payback? Share your answers in the comments section below. Current champion to dethrone Dominik Mysterio and become a double champion. Dominik Mysterio stunned the masses when he won the NXT North American Championship. This was Dominik's first singles championship in his tenure as a wrestler. While the champion has been successful in defending the title on numerous occasions, his reign could be in jeopardy if Rey Mysterio decides to revisit his feud with his son. Rey is currently the United States champion and will look for an opportunity to become a double champion to add one more achievement to his impressive resume. Dominik and Rey have a storied history together. Dominik's resentment over his father keeping him in his shadow was the initial spark of their feud. The animosity eventually led into a match at WrestleMania 39. Rey came out victorious in that outing after months of torture from Dom. Now the legendary wrestler could look to add another win over his son to his resume. In WWE's The Bump, the Hall of Famer said that he was proud of Dominik Mysterio for becoming the champion, but he also promised to take the title away from him. The fact that he's succeeding in becoming his person, he's already his person. You don't know how many times I would have loved to call him up and say, "Congratulations, son, you're killing it," but it hurts. Unfortunately, I can't do it, and that really hurts. I wish things could be different, but as a father, despite our differences, I'm extremely proud of what he's doing and what he's conquering. He just better not step in the ring with me because I will take that North American title. Dominik Mysterio has turned out to be not just arguably WWE's biggest villain, but also the most despised heel in all of pro wrestling of late. The amount of attention he is currently receiving has been unprecedented in recent years. If a feud between father and son is reignited, it will be must-see television. We'll have to wait and see what the future has in store for them now that they are on different brands. While everyone in the Judgment Day is supposedly on the same level, things are slowly starting to change. Finn Balor and Damian Priest are at odds with one another and both want their time to shine in the spotlight. The group's unity seemingly has begun to crack as tension mounts. WWE may be preparing a major breakup storyline for the faction, with minor cracks becoming big problems for the group as a whole. What will happen to Rhea and Dominik amid all the chaos? Even though the stable doesn't have a clear leader, Rhea seems to be holding the group together. What if the ongoing tension between Balor and Priest leads to Dominik and Rhea losing their cool and leaving the group, bringing the Judgment Day down on their own? With a lot of superstars currently toiling in the WWE's mid-card, they would love to join Dominik and Rhea to reinvigorate their careers. Let's keep an eye on the group for the next few weeks. Do you want to see Rey take Dominik's title? Let us know in the comments section below. Top WWE superstar going after Roman Reigns the solution to major problem on Raw. WWE NXT North American champion Dominik Mysterio recently suggested a solution to the tension between his Judgment Day teammates Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Earlier this year, Priest won the men's Money in the Bank ladder match to earn himself a shot at a world title whenever he wants. However, his relationship with his Judgment Day teammate Finn Balor has become rocky since then. Priest seemingly unintentionally cost the Prince the opportunity to capture Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship multiple times. That led to constant disagreements and arguments between them. During a recent interview with Baker's Bantering, Dominik discussed why the Judgment Day would not crumble like the Bloodline. He also suggested that Priest could go after Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal Championship instead of the World Heavyweight title if Balor wins the latter, which would solve their problem. The Bloodline is a real family. Jay, Jimmy, and Solo, those are real brothers. And then Roman is their real cousin. That's a real family that has real family issues, right? And not to mention, Roman, the head of the table, wants to be the head of the table. He wants to be the leader. He wants to be the one calling the shots. So now Jay challenged him to tribal combat, making him the one who wants to be the tribal chief and call the shots. So if they're fighting for a leader, right? But the Judgment Day, we don't really have a leader, he said. The NXT North American champion added, "We heard Triple H. We can argue that it's Rhea. We could argue that it's Finn or even Damian. He didn't say anything about me for some reason, whatever that reason was. But we don't have a particular leader. But what Finn and Damian are currently fighting for is the top prize, right? But if you think about it, let's say Finn gets the World Heavyweight Championship, right? Then Damian has the Money in the Bank. He can still go for that top prize, which is the belt that Roman has, and we'd all be a big happy family. Because none of us are actually fighting to be who's on top." While chatting with Baker's Bantering, Dominik Mysterio addressed the friction in the Judgment Day. He claimed the relationship between the group members is at its best and that the faction is stronger than ever. Meanwhile, the 26-year-old pointed out that he believes Damian Priest and Finn Balor deserve to win the World Heavyweight Championship. "Our relationship's great right now. Even though we're having a little, family discussions on TV, we just have to realize that Finn and Damian are fighting for the biggest thing in the WWE, which is the World Heavyweight Championship. Both of them want it. Both of them deserve it. And I think it's gotten to the point where the prize is too big for both of them. And we can't let that tear our family apart. So I think we're handling the situation internally. I know Rhea's getting the boys under control." WWE's Dominik Mysterio made a major announcement regarding his relationship with his real-life partner. Solo Sikoa in a major feud against former WWE champion. Solo Sikoa has not been seen since he was taken out by Jey Uso a few weeks back on SmackDown. With reports claiming that the Bloodline storyline is set to slow down, there is speculation that the Enforcer will begin a feud with former WWE champion Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio recently won the United States Championship by defeating Austin Theory. Mysterio's produce Santos Escobar was originally supposed to face Theory, but was injured before the match and Mysterio replaced him. This looks like a classic setting for Escobar to turn heel on Mysterio. Ryan Alvarez of Wrestling Observer stated that with Mysterio becoming the US champion, it looks like seeds of dissent will be planted within the El Duo and Escobar could turn heel. This could happen if Solo Sikoa defeats Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship with the help of Santos Escobar. He's never really been put in that position to try to be the next Rey or whatever. And now here we are, he's gonna turn on Rey and be a heel, said Alvarez. In a conversation with Cheap Heat last year, the SmackDown superstar expressed his interest in working with Rey Mysterio. He mentioned that Rey's connection with Solo's father, Rikishi has led the former WWE champion to be a long-standing family friend. He's been a family friend of ours for a very long time, said Sikoa. There is speculation that the only reason Rey Mysterio defeat Theory for the US Championship was to eventually put the title on Sikoa. Ever since making his main roster debut last year, Sikoa is yet to win a main roster championship. Winning the US Championship with the help of Santos Escobar would help both of them. While Solo Sikoa will become a champion, Escobar will get elevated by having a major feud with Rey Mysterio. Jey Uso spotted dancing with Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa after quitting WWE. While Jey Uso may not be interested in keeping ties with former Bloodline stablemates Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa in WWE, the three stars were recently seen enjoying together, keeping their in-ring tensions aside. Things have been going downhill for the Bloodline over the last several months. Jey Uso finally snapped after his twin brother Jimmy cost him the match against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Frustrated with all the drama, the former tag team champion laid out all three of Roman, Solo, and Jimmy and announced that he's quitting the Bloodline, SmackDown, and WWE. Amidst all the dissension, the Inoue family stars were recently seen together at a family get-together. In another video that has been making rounds on social media, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso were seen shaking a leg together, along with an elder woman from the family. Younger brother Solo Sikoa was also spotted enjoying himself in the back. Trinity Faju, famously known as Naomi, Jimmy Uso's wife, also posted an image from the event. However, the former WWE star blurred out Jey and Solo from the picture, keeping kayfabe truly alive. Despite being a multiple-time tag team champion, Jey Uso has emerged as a credible singles star in the last few years. The 38-year-old's series of matches against Roman Reigns are some of the best work of his career, and he came fairly close to usurping the head of the table, but was denied by his own twin brother. While the stars ended ties with the Bloodline, doors are open for him to join another faction. Dominik Mysterio recently expressed his desire to see main event Jey don the purple color of the Judgment Day. I got Jey. Jey's got to join the Judgment Day. He's got to change his color from red to purple. He can keep the all-white pants, but maybe the palm trees a little purple and black in there. And I think that fit perfectly. He's got the tattoos. Jey Uso is not going to join the Judgment Day. Why not? I think he'd be a perfect fit. He's got to find a new family. He can't be going solo, he said. Jey is likely to stay away from WWE for the time being, as the company seemingly wants to delay the potential match between him and Jimmy. However, the latter will be present on SmackDown this Friday.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing